Welcome, Ops Experts people. Savannah, I don't know about you, but I think we have the coolest intro music.
Yes, I think so too. No one can resist the dance to our intro music.
No, yeah, I'm sure we're all dancing backstage in the green room and living it up. I feel like I'm about to join or be on a really cool show when that pops on, and it just makes me feel good.
Yes, it's feel good music for sure.
Yeah, and we are on a really cool show. That is Ops Experts Club. Good to be here again with another week. Savannah, good to have you again. It's going to
Thank
be a fun
you.
one, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, we have an awesome guest with us today. She's somebody we've worked with years now, probably. I don't know, 4 years maybe since her name first popped up. And she's doing awesome things. And I'm not going to say much more than that. So let's just introduce RJ to the show. And RJ can tell us all about the awesomeness. Hello, RJ.
Hello, Taryn and Savannah. Thank you for having me on. It is a dream to be hanging out with you today, talking about ops, talking about all the cool things. I love your backsplash. The gears. This is the magic behind the moment, and
Yes.
I am so happy to join you here today.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Aaron always tells us as the unsexy side of marketing. So that's what we're here to talk about.
Absolutely.
So excited to have you here today, RJ. I'm so excited you could join us. It's great to see your face and to just have your energy on the screen with us.
You betcha. I in turn I'm absolutely a huge fan of what you guys do on the daily, and to talk about the little machinations, to talk about the little connections. I try to talk about these things to my wife, but she just the glaze. The glaze is strong with that one. Let me just say that. But operations is where it's at. Yeah, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where somebody comes to us with a dream and they say, hey, I want to make this crazy thing happen, and we're the ones that put the nuts and the bolts in place. So happy to be here. What shall we talk about? Tell me everything.
Wow. I think, first of all, people just want to know, who you are, what you're doing, what you're working with, and how you got there, because we all love a good origin story.
Well, it started in 1973. No, I'm kidding. Gosh, I have been a very weird niche genius with computers for a long time. I am not a programmer. As you know, I have a programmer. I don't know how to program things, but I know for some reason I can look at software and I can see the underlying logic base behind it. And I can start to put things together that'll make crazy things happen. I'm somewhere between the dreamers and the bricklayers. I'm kind of that connection source, right? And technically, what I do for a living is I create absolute epic engagement adventures through chatbots, and now chatbots combined with the magic of AI and large language models. So that's it in a nutshell. Would you like me to expand on any of that?
I think your nutshell's good. I think we want to know how you got there.
Okay.
Yeah.
What led to this?
What a long, strange trip it's been. It was a series of accidents and mishaps, probably, if you want to phrase it that way, I guess. But I kept finding myself in situations where people they don't know the power that they have at their fingertips. And I've been able to connect that in different ways. I love awakening people to what they can do and connecting them to what they dream about. It started when I was 6. The whole class, the whole school, there was about 50 of us. Okay. The whole school, we were out at the skating rink for a day. And I was very nervous because the 3rd and the 4th graders were zooming by on one leg and doing all these tricks. And I was like, wow, this is a little scary. I was in the 1st grade and I spotted a group of kindergartners who looked more afraid than I was. And I rolled up there as cool as a 1st grader could possibly be. And I said, y'all, we should learn how to skate today. I'll teach you what I know.
Mhm.
And we had a whole huge amount of fun that day. Now, many years later, trust me, many, we're in this place where I'm continuing to roll up to a group of people and say, hey, that computer that you are at right now can do so many beautiful things. Let me teach you how. Let me connect the dots behind the scenes to help your clients have epic adventures, to help help you connect to who your target audience is. Long story short, lots of school, lots of degrees, actually 3 degrees, and then I hired myself.
Ooh.
It was genius.
Yeah.
And I started to freelance, go to work for people. I was everybody's marketing help desk for a long time. I
Mhm.
ran into chatbots one day, and I fell in love because here was the first iteration of having a conversation with people instead of guessing at what they want in marketing.
Mhm.
A two-way. I could find out. I could ask questions. They could ask questions to me. All I needed to do was construct the
Ooh.
conversation on my side. And that, my friends, just made it happen for me. 3 years later, started to get involved with AI. I will say it wasn't very remarkable. Worked with Dialogflow
Mhm.
for a while. You guys remember that. And then last November, you know, my world cracked apart when I discovered GPT.
Mhm.
I got on the phone with my programmer, Robert, and I said, did you know about? And he said, don't say GPT, and you're not allowed to go swim in that until I've taken a swim first. I was forbidden, my friends, because he knew that I would not finish the work in front of me because of the amazingness of, most people think of it as a copy generator.
Mhm.
It can take in information, it can compare and contrast and analyze that information from 6 different angles. It can do
Mhm.
so many things to just light the world on fire. So what
Mhm.
I'm doing now is I'm just combining the two. A lot of my clients do not want to look at the Chat GPT interface. It does not
Mhm.
interest them. They look at it and go, that's another thing I have to learn, right? And I say, absolutely not. We can interface right through my bots and get all of that brain onto a personalized version, of a chat bot. So that was a long answer to a short question.
I love that distinction though, because I think when we have these conversations on our channel, like we've talked about ChatGPT a few times because all of us on the team do really enjoy using it. And just like you said, I think a lot of people think of it as like, oh no, it's another tech thing that I have to learn. But that's not the case. Like it is just it's becoming just a normal tool that can push everybody forward. And then people bring like you on the team that know how to integrate things into what they're already doing. So they don't have to learn it. They can still utilize it and it still can benefit their business. It's not like another piece of tech that they have to master to be able to, like work that into what they're doing.
Well, and for me, when I'm mastering GPT, I can forget about those 5 things that didn't work all that well anymore. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like I can forget about having to get on Google, type a few words in, look through 10 or 12 things, probably not find what I want anyway, change my search. I can just say, "Hey GPT, could you tell me this?"
Mhm.
Thanks. It's over. Hey, can I get a banana bread recipe? I'm learning how to cook, y'all. It's new, trust me. I've not burnt down the house yet. The house is still standing, everyone. But I'm learning how to cook because I don't have to surf through 80 pages of why I make this recipe on Wednesday nights in the cold, cold winter, and my husband just loves it. I don't have to do that. I don't have to surf through the pop-ups, chase down everything. No, I just say, hey, can you give me a banana bread recipe? And it just does it. It's beautiful. So yes,
Yeah.
I can master this tool and forget about 5 that didn't work so well. And that's what really makes the difference for me, I think.
Mhm. Now, how many years ago was that you had that chatbot awakening where you experienced your first one?
Well, it was 2017.
Ooh.
I had this client, and I'm sure you've never had clients like this, but I had this client who was constantly promising me things and like not ever getting them to me. What I did was what most tech geniuses do. We put together some crazy stunts. We create charts, we create an accountability system. It's fantastic. And I did. It was beautiful. It was like Geek Christmas, right? So I get this beautiful Christmas present ready for her. I unwrap it for her on a call. She's excited. She's like, this is great. I can put some stuff in here and then I can see it over here and measure my progress and woo! All right. A week later, she still hasn't gotten into it again because I know. 2 weeks pass by and I'm giving her a call. Hello, Sarah. That wasn't her name. I noticed you haven't gotten in there. What's going on? She said, RJ, reality hit. I have 5 children. I have to get them off on a bus to school with lunches in the right backpacks and somehow with their homework. Can you make this happen? Could you make this accountability thing happen like on Facebook? Could you do that? Because if I can just use it on Facebook, I don't need to, do all of that other stuff. I can make it happen every day. Well, bots had just come out. I'd been reading about these things. I'd been experiencing a few, and so I renamed my office the Bot Cave. I shut the doors, and I made her something on Facebook that she could use every day. This is 2017.
Wow.
In the before times. So 2017, and I made her an accountability bot that came in, asked her in the morning what she wanted to accomplish, came in at night, said, okay, what did you do? What do you need to reset? And she used it. She used it so much that she also posted it on her wall. And then somebody else posted it on their wall. And then people unknown to me started posting that on their walls. And I had 100 people in overnight. None of my lead magnets had ever performed like that. And people are telling me like personal stuff over this stuff. They're like, I'd really got to get this done for my grandma because, and I'm like, this is the future. This is the future. That was 2017. Took me 2 weeks to completely rename my business to Black Belt Bots. And boom, a star bot is born.
I love that. Like just the mere, just like, oh, my client needs a thing and I need to solve a problem. So I'm going to just make this genius thing. And oh, like actually everybody in the world needs this thing. We just didn't realize that that was possible to help us get it done.
Exactly. Sometimes the tools are at our fingertips. Sometimes it takes a crazy imagination. But most of all, what it really takes is a willingness to make our clients' lives better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We ops people know how.
Mm-hmm. Accountability bots, genius. I think it's great you were able to make something. Everybody wants accountability without the judgment. So you solve that. Have about accountability, and you don't have to worry about somebody judging you.
Exactly. And you would be surprised. You would be surprised at the types of bots that are out there that people just want, people just want to be seen, heard, and understood. They just want to feel like that you care about them. They'd much rather talk to a bot about some things than a human being. When I was first getting started in bots, I read about a funeral home that wrote a chat bot that took in your like final wishes type stuff. Genius. Nobody wants to talk about that.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to look at another person and plan what's going to happen after they're gone. But you'll talk to a chatbot about that. You'll give it details.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's a really helpful because especially people of like older generations don't want to talk about like they don't want to have the like vulnerable feelings and stuff. And then so there are a lot of people that they lose their loved ones and then they are left with no information on what they're supposed to do because they never could have that conversation with that person. So that's a use case that you wouldn't even think you need operations in, but everybody needs operations.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody does. I mean, my mom passed like 20 years ago and we had no idea what to do. And I've been through that. It's harsh. I don't think my mom believed that she would ever pass. She was one of those. But yeah, it helps so much to have that conversation. So why not turn some hard conversations into a place where, as Terrence said, no judgment here. Let's just get this thing done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing, RJ. That's a pretty great story. Is that your best story, or did you have something else for that one?
I have something else.
Oh boy.
Oh, shoot.
It has nothing to do with work. Is that okay?
Perfect.
Let's say it's a superhero origin story.
Well, you're here as a person first and a specialist second.
Thank you so much. I feel loved. Well, my family was a little crazy. I know that's very hard to believe. But this is my best story ever. And this, I have two sisters, one older, one younger. Among us, it is known as the "Can You Be My Friend" story. Mm-hmm. Because if we know that if we tell this story to a person and they're still our friend after that, they're really our friend. So picture it. 1982. Omaha, Nebraska, where I live now, incidentally. My mom was with a guy who was a little nuts. And they decided that they'd been reading about all of these people that were finding gold in Oregon. Now, most people in America, gold rush 1849, my family 1982. As strange as that was, they really felt like we were being too commercialized, that they didn't want the kids to grow up in such a world ruled by the man. So they bought a school bus that had originated in 1950, and there are pictures of this. Painted it as a giant unicorn. Yes, a unicorn. Pegasus Rose was the name of the bus, and had the kids do rainbow handprints up the sides. A sign of things to come for me. Anyway, so we painted this bus and we're off on this adventure, right? And as you can tell, as you might have perceived already, there wasn't a whole lot of money. It wasn't a straight drive through to Oregon from Omaha. It took us 3 months because we were constantly breaking down. No one had a job. Did anybody save up some money for that trip? No, they did not. Foresight, not a thing. So we're going across the country, stopping at flea markets to sell little things that we made, getting across. We had repairs. It was a lot of interesting fun. And anyway, we got to Oregon. Did we move into a town? Absolutely not. Too commercialized. No. We're gonna grow up wild, and this is our mom's thing. Anyway, our grandma, who was from Iowa, hardworking Iowa, practicality, as we say, she came to visit us. We were living on a mountain. We slept in the bus that had been converted into a mobile home, air quotes for sure. And we had a tarp over a picnic table where we ate things. And we wandered around the woods most of the time. Anyway, Grandma came to see us. And Grandma was very patient and loving. And at the end of the trip, she said, "Rebecca," that was my mom's name. "Rebecca, I'll always love you. Never a question. But unless you take the children and move to town and put them in a school and they live in a house, they're just going to come back with me." So we moved to town. We moved to town. I thought it was the greatest thing. We moved to town, flushing toilets. Woo! I mean, oh my God, darlings.
Whoa.
We had a TV with HBO. We were living like kings as far as I was concerned. I actually built a back fort in the back hallway. I built a fort with a mattress, and I wouldn't go outside. I would just hang out there and read, and my parents would be like, "Why don't you go outside? It's so beautiful out there." And I would say, I don't like outside anymore. I've had enough. But thank you. And I go back to my book.
Lived outside.
Oh yeah, and not always pleasant outside actually. And we lived in Oregon, in town for about a year. And then there were some marital issues. We moved back to Iowa. But my mom would constantly refer to that time in our lives as, you remember when we were gypsies? And I, the eternal smart aleck, would say, Mom, technically when you don't have an address, they call you homeless. Oh, she didn't like that joke. She did not like that joke. So that's my best story, everybody.
That is a superhero origin story if I ever heard one. And it also makes a lot more sense with the context where you said that your mom didn't believe that she would die. Because I feel like if someone's going to like cross the country and live in a unicorn school bus, that is someone that certainly must believe that they will live forever.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Things got a little ethereal sometimes at the house. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, in comparison, goggles and cape ain't that crazy at all.
That is amazing. I love that so much.
Yes.
Wow, thank you. That was a journey. I loved going on that journey with you.
It was a doozy, and it reflects a lot of the way that my brain works now. How do you work with tools that are unfamiliar and unconventional? Mm-hmm. How do you set a system up in a place you've never, ever been before? How do you explore territory that might be awesome for you or might not be? How do you keep that all in your brain and develop solutions? I mean, we needed many solutions out there in the mountains. And yeah, I mean, and use of imagination. We had 4 months where we had like 5 or 6 books and each other. And my sisters and I remain very, very close today because of that experience.
I bet.
That's great.
Survival.
Yes.
Yeah, you definitely moved into that. Instead of asking why, you ask why not and how.
Yeah. Why can't we do that? Let's just experiment and see how it goes. We don't have to have it perfect the first way through. We just need to beat it up and let it know who's boss and rework that idea. We'll come up with something. We always come up with something awesome. We always do.
Yeah. So what's been your biggest hurdle in your bot journey?
I think my biggest hurdle is, I mean, I can talk about at the moment. My biggest journey at the moment is I'm starting to develop like actual software products. And I get so bogged down in this isn't perfect. No one's going to love this. I get so bogged down in, excuse me, the perfection part of it. And my happy place is development. I mean, I love sales. That's technically what I'm supposed to be doing for the company. But I love sales. I love being in front of people, but it's so comfortable being in that little quiet bot cave where I can just go, you know what, that sentence, let's play with that for 3 days. No one cares. No one cares. We got to make it useful, get it out to the people and talk about it. So that's my greatest hurdle right now is that I descend into my comfy place designing systems and I need to pull away, let the others do their work. They're geniuses at what they do. I'm good at what I do. I need to let them do the development work and stand outside and see it from this side and talk to people about it. That's what I need to do. That's where I need to keep my head.
Mm-hmm.
Something though that I love about you, and something that you touched on earlier, is that you pointed out that you aren't the programmer. You have a programmer, and then you are like good at the dreaming phase. And I feel like because a lot of the folks that we talk about on our channel are people that are working within organizations and operations. And I think you're kind of a special case because you are the visionary, and you're an operations person, but you're the visionary of your operations type of business. So I feel like that. I can just see that how that works so well with you being out there and talking to other visionaries of companies, because you can see it from both sides, because you are the visionary and you are the dreamer. And so you totally get what that visionary is excited about, because sometimes us operations people, we're so focused on the process of it and the efficiency of it that we're like, yeah, I totally know that you want this amazing, beautiful thing, but we need to look at how it works. And I feel like you're like, yes, I totally see this beautiful thing, and here's how we can do it. Like I feel like with operations versus visionary, sometimes there's a but I feel like you're kind of like, you're like the bridge. You make the and.
You're exactly right. I am the bridge. And that's kind of, looking back at different careers and stuff I've had over my life, I'm absolutely the bridge. And I'm not an expert in operations, in optimizing systems. I'm not an expert visionary either. I bridge those two gaps though. Being the bridge is what I am. I can talk, I can speak geek very well, and I can also speak to the business end, to the vision end, because I hear their problems. And my brain is just working on little projects over time to go, how can we overcome this? What if we put these two things together? So you're absolutely right. I'm much more of a bridge than I am an expert at either side, and I am a weird hybrid blend, but like a good one that you'll like to have around.
You're an expert at being the bridge.
I love you, Savannah. I just need you to know that.
We love you too. I'm so excited that you're here. This has been awesome.
Yeah, I totally see you're great at the sales, because you don't ever sell. I've never seen you sell. I've been in the calls with you, introduce you to other people, and you're never selling them to what you do. You're just talking passionately about really cool things you get to do. Yes. And then other people are like, I want that too. And it's sold.
I tell my people all the time, don't stop marketing and stop selling. Serve and invite. Just serve and invite. Because my refund rate is a lot less. I used to be one of those people who were just trying to get anybody I could in the door, because that's how you survive, right? That's how all the people tell you have to survive. No, quality of people coming in the door, inviting them, letting them think about it. I have a sales coach who, if she was hearing this right now, her brain would absolutely implode if she heard me saying that. But I let people think about it. Because you know what? If you're excited, then you're willing to do the work to make it happen. So for me, it's not for everybody, but for me, that's the best. It's just serve them and invite them deeper into the circle and see what they say.
Beautiful. Now, what's one piece of advice you today would give you just starting out in your journey in this world?
As a beginning coach, as a beginning bot builder, AI person?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Well, and this is going to seem so elementary, but bear with me anyway. There was one time in my career that I decided Facebook Live was new. This was before bots. And I got on Facebook Live every day. Excuse me. I got on every day. I wore polo. I know it's hard to imagine. It's okay. It's also hard for me to imagine. And there's tape. Anyway, I would get on in a polo and I would say all of the words that other people had said that I needed to say, and what SEO said that I needed to say. And all, I did all of the things. I jumped through all the hoops. I took this octagonal peg and attempted to slam it into a triangular hole. None of it worked. I was doing everything that they told me that I should do. And one day I just decided it was over. I was done pretending to be someone else. Not everybody responds to this personality. That's okay. What you see is what you get with me. And for anybody just starting out in business, please, please, I beg you, it's not a net. It's not a throw a wide net, see who you can get, say all the right words to get somebody to buy from you. Those are not lifelong clients. Those are not relationships that you are building forever. Those are cases where you're going to get paid and older. Okay? But you're not getting your lifelong clients. When you finally drop that facade, puppies, when you finally drop that facade, be your true self. Say what you want to say. That's when you're going to find your lifelong friends, like the two of you are. Yeah, that's when you're going to find your lifelong clients that stick with you for years. That's when you're going to find the community that you need to surround yourself with to be strong in the face of whatever's happening out there in business. My two-word thing is be yourself. Just you have absolutely everything to gain and nothing to lose.
Wow. Couldn't have heard it better from anybody else. That was beautiful.
Anytime.
Yeah, I love that piece of advice. Savannah?
Just beautiful advice, and I'm just so excited that we got you on. This is such a different interview than I feel like we normally get, just because of who you are, and just you being unapologetically who you are, and just the way that you've escalated your own business in just a really different way that I think ops people often don't think about.
I will come on anytime. I will, for any reason, I will speak at the drop of a hat, any hat, a child's birthday party hat. You just tell me when, because it's so awesome to talk to people who know how the nuts and bolts work, who put their brains into the details. This is the world. Crazy ideas don't work without ops. Awesome ideas don't work without ops. You are the people that make things happen, and I'm eternally grateful to you.
Wow, thank you, RJ. I mean, it's been awesome getting to work with you, and I know you just being you is the reason we keep your name in the Rolodex and throw you out there whenever anybody asks. And yeah, it's been a real treasure on our end as well. Just getting to see you work in action and keeping you around and bringing you onto this show. And yeah, it's great being in each other's lives.
Beautiful.
Well, Savannah, any last words?
Well, I did just want to throw out there that RJ does have, she mentioned letting people into her circle. She does actually have a great group on Circle, which if you all recall a Cool Tools segment a while back, we talked about Circle. And I will, on our Facebook group and in our page in the comments, I'll post links, RJ, to your groups in case people wanted to see more of what you're about and if they wanted to work more bot genius into their own stuff. It's definitely, or if you're one of our Collab clients and you're watching this, and we can absolutely hook you up with RJ. She's fantastic. So
that's wonderful. The more that you recommend into my circle, I trust anybody the two of you would recommend. Absolutely any day. Come on into the circle. WeKickBot.com is how you get there. And yeah, it will be lovely to have anybody from this group.
Awesome. I'm going to check it out for sure. Hope all of you other ops experts people check it out. RJ, it's been fun having you on. I couldn't stop on time because I just had to continue, but it's been a pleasure, and I know we'll see you again in the future.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we'll see you all again next week.
Bye. Thanks, RJ.
Hi.
True.